Hey, what's up, fellas? It's your man Tim Scales, aka Tim Knows. Thought I'd make this video for all the fathers out there. First of all, I want to say happy belated Father's Day to y'all. Father's Day just passed. But I'm gonna go ahead on and get into this I want to actually make this video for y'all fathers because it's a lot of people out here saying that, more fathers need to step up, especially our black fathers. We need to do this, we need to do that, and all of this, but no one is informing you of your rights. So how can you step up if you don't know what to do and you don't know your rights? So you got a lot of women out here that they want demand child support, but they don't want you to see your child. So in that situation, you can file for visitation. Now, I don't want y'all to get scared to file for visitation because you feel like, oh, I'm backed up in child support. I'm not going down there and mess with them people and all of that. But what you need to understand is this. Child support has nothing to do with visitation. Visitation has nothing to do with child support. The only time you got to worry about going to court when you filing for visitation is if you so backed up that they didn't issue a warrant for your arrest or something like that. Then of course now you're gonna go to jail if you go down there. So in that instance, no, I wouldn't go. But if you just backed up, then you just backed up. That has nothing to do with visitation. It shouldn't even come up in court. And if it does, then you just say, hey, that has nothing to do with what we're here for. We're here for visitation, you know, which the judge gonna more likely respect that, you know. So at the same time, you can always file for custody also. And there's four type of custodies you can file for. So first one would be joint custody. Joint custody is basically saying that, okay, I want the child to go ahead and continue to live with the mother, but I just want rights as a father. That's all that's saying. You have say so. That's what joint custody is, but the child still live with the mother. And then the second type of custody you would have which is a different type of joint custody, which is shared custody. And that's basically saying that the child can live with you 6 months and live with her 6 months, or 1 week on, 1 week off between the two of y'all. The next type of custody you can file for would be physical custody. That's basically saying that the child going to live with you, and the mother have the option or not whether she want visitation or not. That's physical custody. The last type of custody would be sole custody. Sole custody basically saying that one parent have full say so over the child and the other parent does not have visitation. And basically the visitation is up to the person who have custody, is up to their discretion. So pretty much if you have sole custody, she will have to call you and you will have to okay for her to see the children or the child. So that's shared custody. I mean, not shared custody, I'm sorry, that's sole custody. Okay, now another thing, at any given point, if you don't win custody, or you lost, she won custody, you lost, you can always appeal that, or you can just come back at a later date and file for custody then if you choose to. One thing you need to understand about custody cases, they're never really over with until the other party gives up. So if you won and the mother say, okay, I'm going to just go ahead and give up and not fight no more, then, okay, now you keep custody. But at any given time, either parent can take the other parent back to court to refile for custody. That's just how that goes. It's never an ending battle. It's always it's never ending. But anyway, I also want to make sure that I touch bases on something that pretty much has nothing to do with custody. I'm I'm in the state of Virginia, so everything I'm telling y'all, I'm speaking on Virginia laws. I don't really know where you're located at, and I don't know the laws in the state that you're in, but I'm speaking on Virginia. And the law in Virginia basically states that if nobody goes down there to the courthouse and establish custody, then pretty much you and the mother both have equal rights to that child. So that's another thing that a lot of us don't know, that if nobody have custody, you both have equal rights to the child. Now, the only thing that gives her more rights than you is if your name is not on the birth certificate. Now, you have no way to prove that that's your child. But if your name is on that birth certificate, then if you just out and about and you see your child somewhere with somebody you don't want her to be with, or just doing something that you feel like is wrong, or they doing something with your child you feel like is wrong, by law you can take your child, right then and there. Now, I would encourage you to have your child's birth certificate on you with your name on it at all times. In case something like that happen, you able to produce that paperwork and show your ID. This is my child, and I'm taking her right now. You can do that, you know. And another thing I want y'all, well, let me back up. If, fellas, if you being taken for child support, always ask for a birth certificate. Always ask for a blood test. I don't care if you know that child is yours. Always ask for a blood test. For the simple fact, when you get that blood test done, and once paternity has been established that you're the father, you can take that paperwork right there to Vital Records and get your name added to the child's birth certificate. That's the law. And you don't need the kid's mother or the child's mother to do that. So outside of that, you would need her signature. Once things start to get messy and stuff like that, you want to be able to do things that you need to do on your own. You don't want to have to call her and go through that. So basically, in order to avoid that, just make sure you ask for a blood test straight from the beginning, even if you know that child is yours. So, and another thing I want y'all to understand is this: you never lose your rights as a parent. So once your name is on that birth certificate, you can take that birth certificate to the school. You can take that birth certificate to the hospital. You can take that birth certificate to your child's doctor's office. And you can ask for medical records. You can ask for school records. So if you want to know how your child been doing in school, by law they supposed to tell you. They have to tell you. If you want a copy of your child's grades, by law they supposed to give it to you. You can get that. Anything you want to know about your child at that school, they supposed to tell you. Other than that, of course, they probably wouldn't allow you to see the child or physically touch the child, or something like that, or not even see the child at all. But by law, they supposed to give you all their school records and their medical records. You have the right to do that. Now, also, I want to say to you fellas this also: if you're going to file for custody, make sure that you have your stuff together. Make sure that you finish with, if you involved in anything illegal, make sure you put that behind you and be done with it forever. Because once you file for custody, they're gonna appoint that child something that's called a guardian ad litem, which is a lawyer for the child or the children. And that lawyer's job is to basically be the lawyer for that child. So she's gonna go to your house and investigate you and everybody in your house, and anybody that she feel gonna have contact with that child. If you have anybody's name on the listed at school as having any type of contact with them, being able to pick them up or anything like that, then she's going to investigate them too. So like I said, sometimes when you're doing this, you're going You're going to probably have to cut some people off, and that's just how it's going to have to go. You're going to have to change your life. You're going to have to move and stuff like that. So that's what you're going to have to do. That God enlighten them. She's going to come to your house. She's going to go to her house, and she's going to investigate. That's her job. So, if you want a real fighting chance at basically winning that custody case, then what I would suggest is you, first of all, you need to make sure that you have that child in a safe environment. You need to make sure that the neighborhood that you living in is better than the mother's. You need to make sure that that child have his own bed. Don't have to necessarily have her own room or his own room, but they need to have their own bed at least. And if the child is like young, then you need to have some daycare set up in place. Need to have that set in place. Another thing, if the school system is a better school system where you live at opposed to the school system where she live at, you got a better chance at winning that case. So, I mean, your lifestyle. If you the type that like to smoke and party and all that type stuff, it's time to go ahead and let all that go. Right now you got to look at the big picture and what's more important, the child. So if you really want your child, you really want to fight, then that's how you're going to have to do it. I know it ain't going to be easy. And it's not, to change your whole lifestyle, to cut off people in your life that you really genuinely love. But if they not living right, you can't have that. You gotta make some decisions. You gotta make some choices. That's just how it gotta go. I mean, I had to do it. Me personally, I have I basically, the first time I fought for custody, I fought for all four of my kids. I got four kids by the same woman. So I fought for all four of them. And basically the end result, I ended up with custody of my three boys, and I let my daughter continue to live with her mom and her grandmother. They both had joint custody of my daughter. 3 years later, we went back, and I ended up with sole custody of my three boys. Now, in the beginning, the kid, she had visitation. The kids go over there. She come pick them up whenever, when doing her visitation hours. And then once it got switched to sole custody, she had to call me. And then I had to let her know if she could come get the kids or not. So pretty much that's how that went, So I pretty much know what I'm talking about because I've been through this already. So that's why I'm trying to inform y'all. It's not going to be easy. But if you're going to go fight, remember one thing. You're going up against a woman, and everybody's on her side. Nobody's on your side. So make sure you go in there with a lawyer. Don't go in there by yourself. Now, visitation, yeah, you can go by yourself. That ain't no big deal. But when you're talking about custody, that's a big deal. So you're going to have a lawyer that's going to be willing to fight for you. And you're going to have your ducks in order. So, don't go in there half-stepping because you're going to have everybody on her side and nobody on yours. And that's just how it's going to go. We black men in America. So don't sit here and think that it's going to be a cakewalk because it's not. Even after you get to custody, don't think that everything is cool. Because it's not going to be. We got all these people talking about we need to step up. But as soon as we get custody of these kids, everybody mad. And you're going to deal with it the same way I dealt with it. Hopefully you won't. But more than likely you will. But at the end of the day, the kids is the top priority. And if we get more fathers to step up and do their job, then we'll have better turnout in our black community. That's just how it goes. I mean, my kids alone, since I had custody of them, they doing good. And I got a son that's already been in college 2 years now. I raised them. I got, my other My other son and my stepdaughter just graduated high school, and they on their way to college. They pretty much did the same thing he did. Graduated a year early with honors, advanced diplomas, and now they on their way to college. After that, I got one stepdaughter and one son left. And then pretty much I'm looking for them to do the same thing that these kids did. My other kids did. Fellas, when it comes to our children and we doing our job, you know, we do our job. We hard. We ain't no yes man and all that. Now you got some fathers that are the yes man. And you get a father that's gonna be, straight up when it comes to them kids and not playing no games. Of course I'm not saying, just be the bad guy, but, at the same time, don't just let your child do what they want to do. I mean, you know how it go. But anyway, you parent how you want to parent. I'm just trying to tell y'all how to fight a custody case. That's or your rights when it comes to your children. So that's what I'm here for. The rest of it, that's up to you. That's your job. You do it how you want to do it. But yeah, like I say, if you're gonna fight for custody, make sure you got your stuff together. It's just simple as that. And I hope I helped you guys. And if you got any questions, you can always comment, and I try to comment back, and or you can inbox me. I can help you that way. I don't think I can cover everything in one video, but I'm not a lawyer or anything. I'm just a father with kids, and I done been through this, and I'm just trying to help somebody else, because we need more guys to step up in our community to help these children. They crying out for us, fellas. So let's do our job, man, and let's do it right. All right, fellas. I hope y'all got something out of this. You do what you want with this video. Do your own research, fact check me if you got to. I mean, that's just what it is, man. You gotta do what you gotta do when it comes to your children, man. So I just hope for the best for y'all, man, and I hope for the best for these children, man. They our future. So let's get it right, fellas. All right, man. Y'all be easy, man. Salute to y'all. I'm out.